So my name is Ashley Bridges.
Your job is so important for small business owners, for business owners, period.
Yeah.
You know, like we're dreamers, we have big goals, right? But obviously there's a part where we have to do the work, but you can't do so much without money, right? You know, and so I'm sure you hear this conversation all the time. When is the right time to start thinking about this and start putting things in place?
Well, if you have a business owner, I think the first day that you establish your LLC. Honestly, because with it, you want to be able to understand your financials, the ins and outs of it better than anybody else. Because like I said, I mean, you can be an expert in your own business, but also understanding that having a loan is not a bad thing. So going back to the community aspect of it and really connecting the community, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're just a person just trying to find their way, there's so many different organizations out here. There's so many different resources and people that I could be like, okay, let me send them an email. Let me connect you. Just be you. Just be you. Come as you are, be authentic, but also know that just because where you came from doesn't dictate where you're going.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Own Your Brand Show. Today, I am excited to speak with Ashley Bridges. First of all, I really love that name.
Thank you.
But I think this conversation is going to be a little different from what I've been doing because she holds such a unique role in the process of helping business owners thrive. You know, she holds such a specific, and I think, in my opinion, very important role because without funding, we can have a dream, but you know, it's only so much that would go, right? So I really wanted to kind of peel the onion back and just kind of talk to her and talk, from our perspective or some of the things that, we could be doing as business owners to grow, but also get into our personal life. Like, what does that even look like for her? Like doing this job, how she started the job and all of the things. I'm hoping that you would take with you some good pointers in order to help grow your business. But without much ado, let's get into it. How are you doing?
I am great today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So we had to reschedule a couple of times.
It's okay. We're here now. We are here now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for just being flexible. But tell us a little bit. I know I mentioned your name, but some people are like, well, some people know, but some may not. But so for people that do not know, can you just tell us a little bit about you?
Yes. So my name is Ashley Bridges. I have two boys, boy mom all the way.
That's right.
Yes, 16 and 12. So that's really my life, to say the least, for the most part. I'm also married as well. So woo-woo.
Yes.
But in my professional life, it does intertwine a lot with my personal. So with it, really being a community advocate, community leader, providing connections to business owners just around really the state of Indiana now.
Yes.
Not just Marion County anymore. As my role, we continue to grow. So with it, as we continue to grow, we're providing those lending opportunities and technical assistance opportunities to small businesses all around the state of Indiana. So just really excited to be here, really excited to explore. I'm also on a couple different boards. So I serve as developing professionals and developing leaders, chair for Pass the Torch,
yes,
co-chair for vice chair for C leaders. So, and then also am advocate for women just in general. I think is really important in leadership. So with it, and
you're busy.
Yeah,
you are busy. So how do you combine being a boy mom, which I'm also a boy mom, got two boys, 12 and 10, but yours are a lot, older now. And I'm like, girl, you survived.
Yes. Look, we're not all the way there yet. My oldest got his first job, summer job. So
how's that?
We're going to see. It starts this Sunday. So,
wow.
Yes.
Is he excited?
He is. He's very excited. I'm excited because he'll actually understand the worth of $1.
Yes.
And
yes.
Understanding that he can't eat me out of a house and home anymore without him being like, okay, you go buy your own juice.
That's
okay?
right. Like, if you guys talked a little bit about how he's going to spend the money, like on his own things.
Yeah, we've already discussed.
That's
he's going to
good.
put some money in his savings account.
Yes.
As a former banker, all the things, I'm like, okay, so this is how you're going to do it. He's like, no, well, I want to go buy this. No, no, that's not how that's going to go.
Right, because they don't know yet, right? They think this like, oh, the first time I'm making money and all of the things, and when they get into the real world, that's when they truly understand.
Yes, we're at that phase of like he's ready to be 18, but I'm like, really, when you turn 18, nothing really changes, right?
Yeah, so true. That's so true, right?
So yeah.
Yeah, just anyway. Well, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So tell us how long, if you can say, what company do you work for and how long have you been with them?
So I work for Intent Indiana. So it's a nonprofit organization that has 4 initiatives underneath those, but we can dive into that a little bit later. But I've been with that organization now for a year and 4 months. Wow. So decided to take the leap of faith after being at a role at a job for 9 years, specific company, finance company. So just decided to take a leap of faith. It's more community and mission driven, to say the least. So
that's amazing. Yeah. And so, like, it sounds like all of your career, basically, you've been in the finance world.
Yes, over a decade. Wow. Look, I'm not gonna give away my age, but over a decade.
I know, right? Well, although we already know you have a 16-year-old, so we might do the math.
I know. Look.
You look amazing. That's the most important part.
Well, thank you. Wow. I appreciate it. Yeah. So I started my banking career at Teachers Credit Union when I was pregnant with my youngest, and took a pivot from clothing retail to banking retail. So it was definitely different, to say the least, but literally learned so much from the manager that I was under. She was also African-American leader, female leader. So with it, I never had that before in my career. So it was just so different for me, the professionalism that she carried and kind of the impact that she left on me in my time there that made me really continue. So she probably doesn't know that, but I'm very appreciative.
Hopefully she'll listen to this podcast. Yes. I'm like, oh, thank you. But that's so important, because I've been hearing a lot, and I mean, it's not even just hearing, like, it's very far in between the amount of leaders that look like us, and so when we have people in places like that, it just makes a big difference, so I'm thankful that you have that experience, because I know that it seems like you carry it with you, and you're also being intentional about passing it along to the next generation too.
Yes, and that was my goal at my prior role, hiring. I've hired and promoted over 35 diverse candidates. Between men and women, and that was kind of like the goal as I continued to work, was to really find a space, because I didn't finish college. So with it, just really finding my niche, as you would call it, not only in the community, but how I can advocate for people of just any like color, any race, any just socioeconomics. With it, that was my goal. So with it, I was able to accomplish that goal, and just coaching and being able to be that person for them. So it was really good.
That's amazing. All right. So your job is so important for small business owners, period. We're dreamers, we have big goals, right? But obviously there's a part where we have to do the work, but you can't do so much without money, right? And so I'm sure you hear this conversation all the time, right? So what would you say is the biggest reason why people come to you?
One, resources, but 2, really just understanding the process when it comes to lending. You can have a hustle, you can have a dream, you can have all the things, but if you don't have your financials in order, you're not established with the Secretary of State, it's not really a whole lot that we can do. So really just taking a step back, and my goal is to make sure that, as they're thinking about like their future, how they're going to be sustainable, how they're creating that legacy, really understanding the fact that, okay, in order for you to do that, the back end, you can be an expert at what you're doing, right? So you're an expert at, making women beautiful, and, but understanding that financial component, or in order for you to be sustainable in the business, like you have to know the ins and outs of those things, or at least have somebody on your team that can provide you with that kind of information. So I would say, I mean, nonetheless, try to give them the resources, but also try to be very transparent with them. And with it, it's not like we're selling anything, which is the best part about it. It's really just having like genuine conversation just around the personal, the professional. How do you want to leave your business? Who do you want to leave your business to? Do you see where do you see your business in 5 years? And really just understanding those components of it to where it's like, okay, this is where you are now versus where you need to be. But financially, how are we going to get there?
Yeah. So I agree with you. I feel like, I mean, this is something that I'm also learning in the last few years where, you know, when we start the business, we're so excited about like, finally we get to start something and maybe we have a couple of customers and we're like, yeah, we're rocking and rolling and all the things. But I feel like I wasn't really thinking about strategically the funds that I needed or how to even prepare myself for the big funds, right? And it wasn't until later that I was like, wait a minute. I kind of need a little bit of help, you know, more than what I'm, you know, so like, I'm saying this to say, like, when do you feel, and I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, like, when is the right time to start thinking about this and start putting things in place?
Well, if you have a business owner, I think the first day that you establish your LLC, honestly, because with it, you want to be able to understand your financials, the ins and outs of it, better than anybody else. Because like I said, I mean, you can be an expert in your own business, but also understanding that having a loan is not a bad thing.
Okay, we got to talk about that because where I'm from, and I understand, like even in the African American community here, it's like it's so frowned on. You know, I grew up with my parents. Like everything is either you have the money to buy it or you don't have it. You know, and so that was a big thing that I had to like wrestle with. Like, oh, I gotta get out this loan. Oh my god, it's so scary.
So with it, I think really just understanding that, you know, if you think about like a home equity line of credit, right? And you think about, okay, if I need to fix my gutters, like, and we know later on down the road, you may need to fix your gutters. Would you rather pay, you know, the full amount, or would you rather take the equity out of your home to be able to utilize those funds and pay it back monthly? So thinking about like your commercial space or thinking about like any loan that you take out, thinking about it as, okay, this is money that, yes, it needs to have a specific, you know, place where it needs to go, but understanding that with it, it's a tool for you to grow your business.
I feel like we have to look at it as an investment. Because if we keep looking at it as like, I mean, for lack of better words, like a loan, it looks like it's a something that weighs on you. But when you look at it like, I'm taking this money to invest in this, and that investment would yield a return, like it gives you that peace of mind. It's like, you know what, I got, you know, and what you're saying is like, in order for you to be able to get that kind of money, you got to have your house in order.
Yeah, and you got to be able to have your own equity as well. So like I said, going back to like your home, like as you pay off your home, you get that equity.
Yes.
So with it, understanding that you need to build that equity with the cash flow, and understanding that your cash flow is king. I mean, understanding like where your money is going, understanding like, okay, do I really need these subscriptions? Do I need, do I need all the things?
I know, right?
So with it, just really understanding the components around it. And I think once you understand the components, you don't have to be an expert in it. As long as you understand the components of your business and like you gaining a profit, you paying yourself too. Because a lot of businesses don't pay themselves.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah. But going back to that subscription though, like I remember one time I was telling my husband, like I had to take out a bunch of my, I had like some of these accounts on the side, and I was like, oh, I need some money. I just grabbed it out, and I didn't realize how I spent. Like after a while, I was like, what did I use the money for? And then he was like, you did this, you did that. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I feel like if you don't pay attention, money it's almost like it flies away.
Yes, it does. It really does. It really does. And that's what I used to tell people, like when I was in banking, like it's okay for you to have multiple business accounts. Don't overdo it. Because I've seen people have 12, 15.
Oh.
And
how do you keep track
that's
of that?
what I'm like. How do you keep track of that? But really understanding, like, okay, do you have a tax account, like for your taxes to come out the following year? Do you have just a regular expense account? Do you have an operating account? Like, really, those three things, and you'll be fine.
Right.
And you'll understand where your money is going, how your money should be allocated, all the things.
Wow. I feel like we need to do like a financial class where you just lead this, because it is really important information. I don't think that we do enough to learn more about those types of things. Wow.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so many resources out there to be tapped into. I feel like, I mean, the CDFI space is a non-traditional space. And then you have the traditional spaces of banking. So really just understanding like CDFIs are more community and mission driven.
Okay.
And, you know, with them being non-traditional, we can provide the flexible, affordable lending.
Okay.
So with it, it's not set in stone. So if you're looking for a line of credit, if you go to the bank, it's like, okay, these are the terms. This is what it's going to look like on your how you pay it back. But, you know, with CDFIs, you know, you can actually work with the lender to be sure, like, okay, well, I want to make just principal and interest payments. Or you can do interest in a balloon payment for at maturity. So really just understanding the components and the ins and outs of those that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. I wasn't even aware of until last year when I got into this space.
Wow. Because, you know, like, I'll be honest, I think until I met you, I didn't even know there was anything called CFF. Now I can't speak.
It's okay.
You know, like I just knew about just the typical banking route, right? And so, when we went to the events at the State House this past, there was like a ton of, and I realized that you guys all work in partnership together as well.
Yes, and we're not in competition at all.
Right.
You know, if I can't, or if Bill Fund can't help you, then with it, just understanding that I can send them over to a bankable or an IFF or a CI, sci-fi, and really just understanding that those are other options out there that'll be willing and able to help the businesses, not only just as like a resource, but as a lending source as well.
So tell me, I know you said that you're community focused, like you're about creating that resources for so it's very much, I mean, like community driven, right? Like, what does that really mean?
So
I know you want to make money too, you know, but like, you know, tell us a little bit about that.
So with it, I guess it really started like 4 years ago. My journey in the community, just to kind of elaborate a little bit more into that. So my journey in the community started at the Women in Business Retreat. It was my first time going, and I was like, okay, like this is really overwhelming. And I had no idea there was anything out there like this with just like women just being in one room.
Yeah.
And I was very foreign to that. So with it, I'm not from Indianapolis. I'm originally from South Bend, but I've been here for 13 years.
Okay.
So back then I was like, okay, I'm going to take a chance. So I got invited, went, and really enjoyed myself and really started building my social capital and understanding that your social capital is everything.
Yes.
So when you think about social capital, and I may look at it different than others, but utilizing the resources around you. So not just the social capital piece, but understanding that that person is an expert in something.
Yes.
So going back to the community aspect of it and really connecting the community, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're just a person just trying to find, you know, their way. There's so many different organizations out here. There's so many different resources and people that I could be like, okay, let me send them an email. Let me connect you. So really just going back to the community piece of it, that's more or less like that's how I'm a resource to the community.
Wow.
Is more or less
so
that.
Powerful. Because you're so invested also in their success, right?
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's not even just the small business owners, but really just understanding that every person that you meet has something to offer.
That's right.
So like, how do you find just that tidbit like in each conversation to take away to be like, okay, this person offers this. So how can I get locked in with them, and how can I get an introduction with them?
Right.
So that's been my goal over the past 4 years, is to really build that up, and being a community advocate and being a community leader and just understanding the behind the scenes is as important as what's in the scenes.
That's right. That's so right. So, and then you working with CIC, like, Intend, that's just like, it's like the perfect fit too.
Yes. So, I mean, with Build Fund, so there's 4 different initiatives, and I'll go over the 4 of them. So with it, we have Indie Land Bank. So with it, we basically go. This isn't what I do, nonetheless, but with it, Intend goes into different donut counties and basically speaks to the cities to see if they have any vacant lots there. Okay. So with it, that's kind of how the process starts with it. Nonetheless, once we acquire those lots or we, are awarded those lots through RFPs regularly with it, that's where our Affordable Home Matters team comes in. And they hire local contractors within that county, geography, whatever the case may be, to actually build the homes. Okay. And then from there, we have Edge Fund, which Edge Fund provides a second mortgage, little to none. And then Build Fund actually provides the lending, is the lending arm to be able to provide the contractors with the loans needed to build the homes.
Oh, I see. So you help on the contractor side and also on the buyer side too. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we help Edge Fund actually helps first-time home buyers get into their first homes. Wow. So behind the scenes, we have a couple banking partners that they work with to help that buyer get into their first home. Wow. And really understanding like the landscape around that is extremely important. That's one of the stressful times of your life, like between
my first home,
yes, between buying your first home, buying your first commercial space, buying your first car. Those are all big purchases. Yes. So understanding the ins and outs, and they do an amazing job with the homeownership one-on-one classes that they provide, just to understand that, okay, are you ready? And once you are ready, what does that look like for you getting into that home? So.
Wow. And so I'm sure someone is sitting down there and like, how do I qualify for some of this?
So with it, nonetheless, I mean, you would just do an intake form for Edge Fund, which they would then reach out to you just about like your income qualifications, things like that. But ultimately, they want to get to know you. They want to get to know your character. Same thing with Build Fund. Like we want to get to know you. We want to. It's really character building at the end of the day of what we're doing, and really just making sure that with it, if you're ready, then let's go.
Yeah. So because it's kind of like they also want you to succeed. So, and they want to get to know you, building a relationship in the process too. Because you don't want to just give money to someone or loan money to someone that you don't know, right? You want to make sure that you're also empowering them to be successful so that they can do what they need to do with that loan too. Yep. So you said there was like 4 programs, and you think you've talked about 3. What's the last one?
It's 4.
Okay, yeah.
So it was Land Bank. We have Affordable Home Matters, we have Edge Fund, and then we have Build Fund.
Okay, got it. Okay, I got that. Sorry, I was like, I thought I missed someone.
No, you're fine. Yeah. Look.
Wow. Okay, that is interesting. So basically, how can people I imagine you have something on the website?
Yeah, so there's different opportunities on our website. So if you go to intendindiana.org, with it, you'll be able to find Build Funds information and complete an intake form. Same thing with Edge Funds information. We also have like our staff directory on there as well. So if you're like, okay, well, I don't really know who to reach out to,
right?
Like just reach out to one of them, and it goes directly to our email as well. Okay. So that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah.
So if they're looking to inquire about any service that we offer, we're definitely here to help.
You know what I really like about this is that what the way you guys are set up. It's like, you know how there's sometimes where you're emailing from a website and you have no idea who is on the other side. But you just mentioning that it goes to your email, it's like, okay, I know a real person is going to get that and going to reach out to me.
Yep. There's only 21 people that work in our
but
building.
Still, but that's a lot of people to be able to go around and help. Wow. That's so, okay, so I'm thinking about, I know we talked a little bit in the beginning how you do all this and you're so passionate about it. You're also on a couple of boards and you have your mom. And so how do you manage being a community leader, a community advocate with like balancing that with being married and having two boys? Like, what does your life look like when you close at work and you're home?
Look, well, I'm a stickler. I have OCD. So my boys are always like, really? I'm like, no, you need to clean up. Like, so I'm very passionate about a clean home. And while I'm not there, just trusting them to be there.
Yes. Yeah.
But really just making sure that as much effort as I'm giving to the community, I'm giving to them, and I'm giving even more to them. Because with it, time goes by so fast. Like I said, I mean, I have a 16-year-old, he'll be 17 in November, and I have a 12-year-old that'll be 13. And with it, just really understanding what they need from me, like in their each stage of like life. So I think every year they need something different. Their style changes. My 12-year-old just told me he had a girlfriend before, and I was like, oh, I said, excuse me. He's like, yeah, no, but we broke up because she was annoying. And I was like, okay. But nonetheless, really just making those moments. So like now that it's summer, having more bonfires where they come out and we're able to talk as a family collectively about what's going on. Like with it, I know a lot of people don't see my kids out and about because they're very much homebodies. They don't like to go anywhere. So a lot of people, when they ask me, they're like, you have kids? I doing all the things. And I'm like, I do.
I thought, I was like, wait a minute. Like, I feel like in CEO law, you're so involved in the community. And it's like, wait, you have two boys? Like,
yes. And my husband is very supportive as well. He's an Instagram chef.
Oh.
So he gets all his ideas off Instagram and, come home to like a nice cooked meal and he'll clean and just do all the things. So with it, my goal is to really just make sure that, I'm leaving a legacy just because growing up, I didn't have the community that I've created.
Yeah.
So really understanding that not only is it important for me to be present as a mom, but also to be present in the community, but knowing that mom life
is important.
Momhood is a whole nother hood.
It is. I like that. Yes. And so I have to also ask, like, what do you do for self-care?
So I used to work out quite a bit beforehand, but now I go home and I dive into reality TV.
Go.
That is.
We can spend a day together.
Look, I get lost in reality TV, so I'm a 90-Day Fiance, Married at First Sight.
I used to watch a lot of that too.
Yes, and that's kind of like how my mind shift kind of like sits after the fact, where I'm just like, okay, I can't wait to go home and watch this and rub my feet together and get under my blanket.
Yes. Because like we need an outlet, right? Something for us too. That's amazing. Wow. So I know you're also an advocate for women. And you're doing a lot of things in that area. Do you want to share a little bit about some of that work with us?
Yeah. So with it, like I said, it really started in the banking, working for the bank that I work for, really just understanding like what we need in the professional setting.
Yeah.
So really working on the etiquette, really working how you show up is everything, right?
Yes.
So like today, for instance, I was like, okay, I honestly have forgot about the podcast, not gonna lie. But I was like, okay, so, we're just gonna go with it. I'm out here supporting a women-owned business with the t-shirt that I have, all the things.
Yes.
But with it, just understanding like that's where my journey started, and how I continue to grow that journey is through Pass the Torch. Yeah. Also being a part of a seat at the table, as well as building legacies and leaders in that cohort, and then also being a part of Coburn Place as well. So really just understanding, like, as women, we make up 51% of, I believe, the state of Indiana, if not Marion County. So, like, how are we pouring back into ourselves and really understanding, like, okay, we sometimes have to sit down.
Yep.
If not, God is going to sit us down.
And he knows how to do that.
But just understanding that you can be a leader wherever you are, no matter what role you have. It doesn't have to necessarily be a title. I'm like in my role right now, like my role is not a leadership role. Like I went from being a leader in a leadership role title to not having a leadership title, but really understanding like how my impacts mean so much to the people around me.
Yes.
But with women, nonetheless, like hearing my story told at COD this past year for the Up and Coming Achiever Award.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. With it, hearing my story being told was actually the first time like my story had really been told like out loud. And really understanding like how far I've come. Like I started as a part-time CSR in banking, like, and just understanding that if as long as you work hard, you're passionate about what you do, you can go anywhere with that. Really,
I love that. I feel like we don't whether someone is reading it or we are reading it to ourselves, we need to do more of that because a lot of people don't understand or realize the impact that they're making and therefore don't even see themselves as leaders.
Yeah, you got to celebrate you.
Yes.
You have to celebrate you, whether it's behind closed, open doors. Like, women don't do enough of we don't do enough of celebrating us at the end of the day.
Right.
Like we go to all these things, we go to all these functions, we're getting awards, shout outs, all the things. But what are we doing to really celebrate us? Not going to get a mani-pedi, but really just diving in deep and understanding the root of why you did it and you know who you are as a person. So
and you know what I was thinking, like, and I wonder if we could just make this a challenge where we like write out maybe a bio for whatever, you know, however we want to and just read it out loud to ourselves in the mirror and say, Victoria Odekomaya, da 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 da. Like, just listen to all of those accomplishments. I feel like that is just also a part of self-care and just pouring into, because there's something that happens when you feel confident in yourself.
Yes.
And that confidence also comes from also knowing that you are actually making an impact. As opposed to just waking up every day and doing things and just going back to bed, or, you know, so like you're actually making an impact. So
yeah, and doing a brain dump. I know that I do that quarterly where I'll try to do like a brain dump of just everything that I've accomplished, everything that I want to accomplish, stuff that didn't go right, things that went wrong. And I know women that do it daily. And that is like, that's a great outlet, because if you don't have anybody to talk to, maybe somebody that you like may not trust with, you know, saying everything that you need to say, put it in a notebook.
Yes.
Like, make an effort into doing that.
Right.
Because with it, like you said, I mean, we have to advocate for ourselves, but we have to also make sure that all the thoughts that we've done, all the accomplishments, like with it, write it in capital letters.
Yes.
Celebrate.
Yes.
Celebrate.
Yes. Celebrate.
And understanding how far you've come in your journey.
And the truth is that when we do that, we're going to see that we actually have we've done way more than we even thought we have, you know. And so I was talking to India Brown in a different episode, and she said something that's so profound. And I feel like it's a little bit connected here too. She said that she defines what success is for her. And to me, what I took out of that is like, success is not defined by what others say I am, but like what I set out to achieve, right? But the trick is, if you don't even know what you're trying to achieve, or you look back to take stock of the things that you may have achieved, like you might continue to feel inadequate, you know, and that is like the enemy trying to steal your peace or making you feel small when you really are actually doing something, you know. So, yeah.
And it's funny that you say that, because I recently filled out an application, which in the application, it's an anonymous application, but with it, the questions that they ask in the application really like set back and made me think. Like I had a couple moments where I cried about it, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like I've come this far, and how I grew up, and like I grew up in. My mom was single, but my dad was around. But with it, it was just kind of always like we didn't have the stability. Like we were moving from house to house. So with that, how do we break these generational curses that are out here as well? So for me, my kids have been in the same school system. They have not changed schools unless they've gone from one grade to another.
Yeah.
That's it. And really understanding that if you can really like set back, join a seat at the table's cohort, apply for that.
Yeah.
Apply for these that actually provide insight on you.
Yes.
To best understand who you are, where you want to go, and where you've come from.
Oh.
That's really like key to like moving forward.
I love that. Oh my goodness. I feel like we definitely need to do a lot more introspective work.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this has been so much fun.
Yes, likewise. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Yeah. Is there anything you would like to share with the audience before you leave?
Anyone that is interested in being a mentor, mentee, check out Pass the Torch. Also with it, if you are interested in lending opportunities, please reach out to me at abridges@buildfund.org. And then just last words, just be you.
Yes.
Just be you. Come as you are, be authentic, but also know that just because where you came from doesn't dictate where you're going. So
that's so powerful. I'm going to put all the links to everything, how to reach Ashley in the links. You already know how that goes, so please make sure you take advantage of that resource. I can also testify with Pass the Torch. It's such an amazing organization that connects mentors and mentees. And I think as women, we really need that support in our lives, whether we're pouring into somebody else or someone pouring into you, which actually, even if you are a mentor, you can also get poured into, because, with the Pass the Mic events, they kind of shared a little bit about that too. So, but a lot of the organizations that we've talked about today, like a Sit at the Table, Jordan was here as one of other guests on another podcast. Phenomenal woman. I love the things that she's doing. So we have the resources here, and Ashley is a connector. She's a community activator. She can help you key into resources that can help you in multiple areas of your life. So please reach out and just continue to be you, like she said. Until next time, be you. Bye.